remarkably, who have continued to progress on their own, leaving the state behind and having no expectations from it. My mother, Asma, was firmly democratic in her belief and practice. She did not believe that judges should take oaths under military dictatorships or pursue an agenda in the civil-military relationship. She did not believe that the judiciary should pay favors to certain quarters in pursuing elected leaders who have fallen out of favor. It is the political neutrality of the justice system as well as the military that is essential for a functioning democracy. We have seen the mantra of corruption being applied to elected leaders on public perceptions and not on evidence. We have seen the judiciary deny basic due process to elected leaders, imprison them on farcical and hitherto unknown charges, and even compare them to television mafia characters, while a majority of the country's resources have been usurped by established powers in the name of national interest. Asma dedicated her life to fight for rule of law. She would have been the first to call out those who are now citing the rule of law to imprison elected politicians or to conduct military trials of civilians. It may be the rule of law, but it is not the rule of justice that Asma strove for through her work. Justice is not just interpreting what is written in our statute books, but putting compassion and fairness back in the service of humanity. In our statute books, we even have punishments of stoning to death, lashings, and amputations. Yet, we do not see such punishments being handed out because it would cause public outrage. Asma was a firm believer in judicial accountability and judicial independence. In fact, when political leaders were disqualified by the judiciary on the basis that they did not fulfill the criteria of honesty and sagaciousness under Articles 62 and 63 of the Constitution, she believed that if such high moral standards are to be met, we would have no parliamentarians nor any judicial benches left. Asma was also the first to support examples of judicial courage, judges refusing dictation, upholding fundamental rights, and instilling progressive interpretations to legislation. Justice Durab Patel was one such judge, and he was also the co-founder of the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan along with her. Asma had great respect for many other judges. She felt that despite judicial interventions in politics, people still have great hopes from this institution. And there are countless lawyers and judges who take pride in their profession and act courageously every day, even at great personal risk to themselves. It is this hope that makes us proud to be part of the legal profession. And like Asma, we must not forget why we joined it. Even now, as we are striking new lows on many fronts, it is the judiciary which is asserting itself in its constitutional role. Questions regarding accountability and encroachment of agencies are being raised, and it will not be long before these questions are not just confined to certain courtrooms. Military trials of civilians cannot coexist in a democratic regime with an independent judiciary. It is an affront to our fundamental rights. Till now, we have had no decision on military courts from our superior courts. Asma and her colleague, Sher Mohammed, petitioned to declare action in aid of civil power regulation in 2012, but till now, no hearing has taken place on declaring that regulation unconstitutional. We hope that when His Lordship is leading the Apex Court, we will see much needed judicial reforms. Suo motu has become a household name in Pakistan since the tenure of Justice Iftikhar Chaudhry. Rules around public interest litigation cases and the formation of a constitutional bench should ensure that PIL cases are used to advance fundamental rights and not encroach upon the domain of the executive. We keep on hearing of the over 2 million cases that are still to be disposed of in Pakistan's judicial system. There have been efforts now and then to clear the backlog, at least in superior courts. We also appreciate that our judiciary is under-resourced and working under intense pressure. There is much to do and very little time. Last but not least, we hope to see a bench that is equivocal in upholding the rule of justice, not just the rule of law, and upholding a rule of justice without fear or favor, and is not afraid to hold state and non-state actors accountable for excesses. For ordinary citizens, justice is not about taking popular positions or grandstanding, but ensuring certain and expeditious justice for all without compromising on due process. We hope that the cases of missing persons will be dealt with expeditiously and political opponents are still provided due process. Without the judiciary playing its due role, the crisis of constitutionalism will only become endemic and existential. Finally, I wish to express our deep appreciation and gratitude to Justice Mansoor Ali Shah, who has generously taken his time out to be here today despite many other commitments. We are most thankful to him and pin great hope on his presence and future guidance. Thank you.